Okay, hello everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Quarantine Quarters Day. It's so nice to be back online with everybody. My name is Ellen. I am a co-founder of Green Buffalo Productions, and my other co-founder, Madison Sedler, has the day off, so you're stuck with me. Sorry about that, but not really, because I'm going to have fun anyway. Just wanted to give a shout out to Layla Gentil and Zach Hetrick for helping us out with this every couple weeks, and basically everything else that we do. Layla's awesome. Zach's awesome. They really just kind of keep us in line here at Green Buffalo Productions. You can see how many cool things they do on the slideshow as it rolls by. A couple things at the beginning. We just want to talk about our little Patreon that is growing a little bit every day with a million things that we're trying to do online because theater is hard right now because we can't go anywhere or do anything together. So we have a couple things that we're offering through Patreon if you want to become a patron. We have a monthly episodes of Almost Paradise. That's a radio drama by Maddie Sedler, our co-founder, who is currently writing that and casting it. And if you want to be a part of it, please let us know. And if you want to listen to it, become a patron. Same thing with The Magic Skull by Sean Cheeky. That was born out of the quarantine quarters here. And he just kept writing and wrote this crazy thing that we wanted to produce. Another thing that we have going on for Patreon is at a couple different levels. We have the poetry postcards that Layla and I will write for you if you become a patron at the $10 level. And a brand new thing that we're starting to do soon, coming up at the end of the year, monthly episodes of 2018 Emerald Terrace, a new podcast series that takes place within the fictional apartment complex of 2018 Emerald Terrace. So that's coming to you soon as well if you're a patron. I do just want to give a thank you to all of our patrons so far. We have Katie Schwabka, Ryan Schleia, Sean Lewis, or Sean Cheeky, Wayne Conover, Leslie Cairns, Sarah Henderson, Zoe Curiazis, Leslie Lesterman, Kelly Booth, and most recently, Scott Seifritz. So thank you guys so much for donating your $5 or more a month. We are working on lots of content for you, and we'll be even providing more things as time goes on. So make sure you share that with everybody that you know. One of those things that's coming up right now during the most spooky time of the year is our spooky, usually a play festival, but this year it is a film festival. So we're very excited about that. Something that you can do at home this year rather than going out and trick-or-treating or just hanging out is to tune into our YouTube channel that I just set up a couple of weeks ago. So it's a little bare right now, and we're going to be filling it up, but we'll have a live reading of or live screening, I should say, of the 6 spooky films that we worked on over the last couple months. And if you're a patron of our Patreon, you actually get a bonus film. So maybe check that out as well for some extra spooky content this year. The suggested donation, if you're going to stream it from YouTube, is $5, but every little bit helps because we do want to make sure that everyone who worked on the show is appreciated as much as possible. So if we can throw them something, it is a fundraiser, and that would be very cool if we could do that. So if you could see all the titles that are in the Spooky Film Festival on this slideshow as it goes by, I won't insult anyone's intelligence by reading it out. So just go ahead and take a look at your fancy, at your leisure. And just want to mention once again that we do have that extra film for anyone who wants to become a patron. We did What's in the Box last year by Justin Pope, and he actually wrote the follow-up to it, What's in the Wall. So we wanted to do a little callback to last year's show by doing What's in the Box for Patreon only. Another thing that's coming up really quick is a reading with the Buffalo Theater Workshop. Katie Schwabka, one of our patrons and really, really good friends of Green Buffalo, wrote a few plays for the quarantine quarters, worked on them a little bit more, and sent them into Buffalo Theater Workshop. That's something that everybody can do, anybody who is looking to increase their increase their skills. Wow, that's a strange way to say that. To work on their writing skills, brush up their work, get it ready for production. They can send that into the Buffalo Theater Workshop, and we'll talk about it all together and make sure that we take your work to the next step. We really love Emma English for starting out that group about a year ago, maybe a little bit more than a year ago. She just saw a need and filled it. So that was pretty great. And we're so happy to be working with her on that. One couple more things. We do want to just make sure that we address again, as we do every couple weeks, that Black Lives Matter. And so there are some protests going on today at right on Hurdle Avenue, actually. So if you're protesting today, please be safe. And if there is anything that you can donate for any of the various charities that we've shared in the past or will share in the future, go ahead and do that. If not, just, try to keep up with things and educate yourself as you can, because we're trying to do the same. On that same similar note, we do have a lot of submissions that are we have a deadline for submissions at the end of this month of September for a kind of social justice piece, what it means to be human. So if you have any kinds of stories that deal with oppression, basically anything, I want to say anything from abuse, assault, poverty, workplace harassment, violence, gender-based violence, sexism, addiction, anything like that, everything is listed on the slide. So anything that's listed or anything outside of that, go ahead and write on it and submit it to us. Just make sure it's your own experience, because we want that to be as truthful and as open as possible. So the final deadline for that is September 30th, and basically kind of any kind of writing or creation that you have, go ahead and submit that, because it's going to be a variety of different things. Similarly, we do have our open call for submissions just in general for the 2021 season. Here's hoping we can have one and have a normal one, quote unquote normal. So if you have a full-length play or a short script or anything like that, screenplays, because we're doing film now. So anything that you are working on that you'd like to submit for production, the deadline for that is September 30th as well. Anything else? Oh, actually, yeah, that's about it. Layla, you want to talk about some of the quarantine quarters and just kind of go over what we're doing right now?
Absolutely. So with quarantine quarters, what we've been doing is it's a writing challenge. We submit these different challenges. The writers get 48 hours to work on them and then submit them. So for the winners of this week, we have Sharing the Mustard by Diane Walker, The Art of Not Being Alone by Aaliyah Jane Peele, Coming to Light by Jeff Dunn, and Quarantine Night Lights by Leslie Cairn. And just so you know what our prompts were, in case you want to try and find them while we're doing the reading, which is always a fun challenge, a little extra thing to do while you're listening. The 3 pieces of dialogue, they only had to use one of them, but some of our playwrights get excited and they use all of them. The 3 lines of dialogue are: our history is nothing more than what the losers settle for. I'm putting an order for takeout. You want anything? And I'm not your baby. The 3 props that must be used, all 3 props must be used for the play to be accepted, are a box full of honey mustard, a hairbrush, and a car key. And then the 3 possible sets that could be used were a high school football field, a shed, or a bar. So those are the 3 possible sets that could be used while doing the play. And I think that's everything. So without further ado, I'm going to start reading. Our first play for tonight is Sharing the Mustard by Diane Walker. And reading the play, we have Tanner Joubert, who is going to be reading for Harry, and Derry Howell will be reading for Martha, and me, Layla Gentil, I'll be reading the stage directions. So just want to check and make sure we are all set. I'm going to get ready. At Rise, stage is dark. The shed door opens and Harry enters wearing a headlamp and waving his hand above, reaching for the string.
Damn. Looks like she's been in here organizing again. Can't find a damn thing when she keeps moving stuff around like that.
Harry finds a string, pulls it, and light rises. Harry looks around, peers at the shelves.
I know it's here somewhere. Picked it up at that mustard museum in Wisconsin, that vacation we took the year I got laid off. What was that now? 2008, 2009? I mean, I'm sure it's still good. Mustard doesn't go bad, does it?
He pokes around some more, trips over a bike stand, and hurts his ankle.
Damn it. Why do we even have these bikes anyway? The kids never use them anymore.
He sits on the bar stool, rubs his ankle.
Martha! Jesus. Woman's never there when you need her. Martha!
Harry? Is that you yelling out there?
Who else does she think it would be out here yelling, Martha!
Martha sticks her head in the shed door.
What? You know I'm in the middle of a Zoom call with the board. Why do you keep bugging me?
Banged my damn ankle on the damn bike stand. Bleeding all over my sock. Can you bring me a Band-Aid?
Let me see.
Martha goes over to him. He stretches out his foot and peers at his ankle.
Oh, honey, it's just a scratch. You'll be fine. Let me get back to my meeting. Why are you out here anyway?
Auto show comes up again this weekend. The guys are doing hot dogs for the barbecue this month. I promised to bring the mustard.
Don't tell me. You're out here looking for that case of honey mustard you bought at the Mustard Museum? Like 100 years ago?
Hey, it was only 10 years. 20th, remember? I don't think mustard goes bad, and it's not like you'll ever eat this stuff.
True. You do know me well, dear. But good luck finding that box. A lot of stuff's been added in here since then. Anyway, I gotta get back to the meeting. You'll be fine, honey. Just keep looking.
Martha pats his ankle and leaves.
You'll be fine, honey. Sheesh. If it was one of the kids, she'd be all over me with bandages, peroxide, and neosporin before you could say boo.
He stands, shakes his ankle experimentally, puts weight on it, groans, and limps over to a shelf.
Okay, what have we got here?
Harry moves items with each statement.
Maple syrup? Check. Expired bank statements? Check. Kid art? What's that? Stuff from elementary school?
Harry opens the box and looks in.
Yep. Wonder what that was supposed to be.
Harry turns paper he found upside down.
Some kind of animal, maybe?
He puts it back, returns the box to the shelf.
The sailor's Sarah's polar bear costume. Really? How old was she in that play? 9? 10? Should probably give this to Goodwill or something.
He picks up the costume and strokes it.
I don't know. Maybe next year.
Harry puts the costume back in the box, strokes it once more before closing the box. Harry picks up another box.
Oh. Hey, here are the missing Christmas lights.
Harry opens the box.
Wait. These aren't lights. What is this anyway? Some kind of netting? Oh, a crab shell? Must have been some school project. Why did they put it in a box of Christmas lights? Where did those lights go?
Harry sets the box back on the shelf.
Ah, here it is. Tucked behind that stupid statue Martha's mother gave us. What is her deal with frogs anyway? This is not our frog house. We are not staying here until we croak. I, for one, plan to end my days in a much warmer climate. Thinking maybe Jamaica.
Martha enters the shed again.
Did someone say Jamaica?
That's rambling. Don't get your hopes up.
How's your ankle, dear?
Oh, it's fine. Don't fuss. Meeting over?
Yup. Did you find your mustard?
I did, right behind that stupid frog statue your mother sent.
Martha puts her hands on Harry's shoulders.
I ain't too old to cut the mustard, just too tired to spread it around.
Martha does a little bump and grind.
Oh, you seem pretty chipper. The meeting went well, I take it?
Yes, delightful, actually. I'm beginning to like these Zoom meetings. No one can see you from the waist down. You can wear anything you like. I love to imagine Ralph is wearing moose underwear.
Harry responds a little amorously to her bump and grind.
I'm not sure how I feel about you imagining Ralph in his underwear, babe.
I'm not your baby, Harry. I'm your wife. You really need to stop calling me that. It is the 21st century, you know. And I'm not imagining Der Fuhrer in his underwear for any reason other than to lower the intimidation factor. You know how overbearing Ralph can be.
Yes, dear, but somehow you always manage to get around him. Must be all these years practicing on me. By the way, can you explain why there are no Christmas lights in this box you so helpfully labeled Christmas lights?
That's crossed out, dear, if you look more closely. And it's clearly not my handwriting. Must be one of those used moving boxes we got from the storage people. What is in there? Miscellaneous kids isn't exactly helpful, though I have to assume there are no children trussed up in there.
Just some old netting, a crab shell, I don't know. Dig down, why don't you, see what else is hiding in there while I take the mustard into the house.
Harry exits through the shed door.
Well, this netting can certainly go. And the crab shell. Ugh. Why do these things still smell after, what, 10 years in storage? 15? Yuck.
Martha tosses the netting and the shell into the garbage can and rummages deeper into the box.
What's this? A hairbrush? Oh, right. It was Sarah's favorite. But when she got lice, we made her leave it in the shed. I guess she forgot about it.
Harry pokes his head back in the shed.
You're still out here? Not organizing, I hope.
Look, Harry. Sarah's old hairbrush.
Ow.
I know.
Harry reaches out, and Martha steps into his arms.
I found her old polar bear suit. Thought about giving it to Goodwill.
No.
Okay. I put it back.
I'm sorry, Harry. Maybe we could just move it closer to the back?
Let's do that.
Harry moves the box into the corner. They stand looking at it, holding hands.
Well, okay then. Are we done in here?
Just about, but I was hoping my old waffle iron would turn up.
Harry Morgenstern. There's a perfectly good waffle iron in the kitchen, and it's not covered with 30 years of grease.
I know, but it's not my waffle iron.
Shoo! Just get out of here. Besides, there are spiders. It could be a brown recluse. Stop prowling.
Wait! I see a gleam. Is that... It's my waffle iron.
Harry picks it up and lifts it out.
Hey, there's an old car key underneath. What's that from?
What key?
Martha grabs it and hides it in her pocket.
The key you just put in your pocket?
You're crazy, old man. You're seeing things. I'm going in now. I'm putting in an order for takeout. You want anything?
Martha tries to leave, but Harry grabs her and wrestles for the key.
Oh, no you don't. What did you put in that pocket?
Harry reaches in while holding her other arm behind her back.
Harry, don't!
Why not? It's just a key.
Harry takes out the key and looks closer.
I'm so sorry, Harry. I couldn't throw it away.
An old Volkswagen key. And this was for Sarah's van, wasn't it?
It was the spare. I couldn't. After the accident,
Harry pulls her closer.
It's okay, honey. I understand. Why did you hide it?
We've been doing so well lately. You've been doing so well. Getting involved with the guys and the auto show and all. I didn't want you to go back.
You mean to remember Sarah? Like I'm ever going to forget about our beautiful daughter?
I don't expect or want you to forget her, Harry. It's just, for so long, it was like you didn't see me or the kids. All you saw was the daughter you lost, not the ones you still had. And Sam, poor Sam, it's like he ceased to exist for you.
Martha, I know, I get it. Sam's choices. No, I contributed to that, and I'm sorry, but I'm good now. We're good now, too. Right?
Harry looks into her face.
Right? I mean, he'll always be there in our hearts. Counseling made a difference, honey. It did. I know I resisted, but it was good. You made me go, forced me to deal with the grief. I'm good now. It's never going to be easy, but I'm good. Don't have to hide the damn key.
You sure? I didn't want you to go back into that dark space.
Kimmy, honey. You're good. You're really good. Kids are good. Back in school. We're past the worst of it. We know what we know what we lost. We still keep on going. Sharing the mustard, you know? Sharing the mustard. Just because we have losses doesn't have to make us losers or hoarders.
Oh, sweetie, you were never a loser. Hoarder? Yes.
Harry swats her.
But never a loser. I think of all of us, out of all of us, you were the hit the hardest. And I didn't want anything to trigger, you know? That empty feeling. You know what Ralph always says, right? When he's talking about the communities we serve. Our history is nothing more than the losers we settle for.
Losses, baby. Losses. Not losers. Losses. And it's not that we settled. I didn't settle for you. You didn't settle for me. And we didn't settle for this. It's more like we're learning to accept.
Martha leans into Harry.
You're right. Losses, not losers. And no settling.
Martha turns and looks at him, then swats him on the shoulder.
And you did it again. I keep telling you, I'm not your baby.
Yes, dear. Sorry. Now, about that takeout. Are you thinking Thai or do we have pizza again?
They start walking out and open the shed door, letting in more light.
Are you kidding? You called me baby twice.
All right. Pizza it is. But I'm keeping the waffle iron in the kitchen.
Harry steps back in and grabs the waffle iron, pulling the light string on the way out.
Waffles in the morning, babe.
Harry, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times.
I know. I'm not your baby.
Both leave, and the stage goes black. Thank you so much for reading that. So that was Sharing the Mustard by Diane Walker. And now we're actually going to be moving on to our next play, which is, trying to find all my stuff. I will now be reading The Art of Not Being Alone by Aaliyah Jane Peele. I have Janie being read by Erica Philpott. I have Lily being read by Alyssa Grace Adams. And I have Voice being read by Justine Pasquale. And me, Layla, I'll be reading the stage directions again. Just bringing it up. All right. So, The Art of Being... Oh, I do want to give a little trigger warning for this play. There is discussion of self-injurious behavior, suicide that specifically does involve a transgender individual, and mental illness. So if it's something that is going to be a lot for you, or you would rather not listen to it, I would suggest maybe muting us for 15-ish minutes, and then you can join us back again. I just want to give a little heads up before starting. So just want to make sure everyone's ready, and we are. Okay. Oh wait, Justine, I need you to be unmuted as well. Great, thank you. Okay, The Art of Not Being Alone by Aaliyah Jane Peele. Janie sits in the upper middle section of the bleachers of her old high school's football field. It's a cold day, perhaps the first cold day signifying that summer is ending. Having rained that morning, there's a dewy mist covering the field below. The surrounding area is uncharacteristically silent, ironic to the familiar area where people usually gather. Birds can be heard chirping softly in the distant trees, but otherwise the area is barren and unused. A cool breeze can be felt puncturing the otherwise stagnant air. Completely alone, Janie frantically types on her phone with complete focus. At one moment, Janie pauses, takes a deep breath, and then continues typing at rapid speed. Lily stands below the bleachers and waits for Janie to notice her. After a minute or so, Janie finally looks up and locks eyes with Lily. They share the same expression, compassionate but sad and worn. Janie then looks back down to her phone and starts rereading what seems to be a long amount of text as Lily starts climbing the bleachers. Lily awkwardly stumbles up and plops down next to Janie.
Writing a post for Facebook?
Yeah, not doing well. I thought being here might help. It's actually a nice spot when no one's around.
Makes you think of the high school days?
Yeah, my ultimate glory days.
Janie makes a scowl as she passes her car keys to Lily. She then returns to her phone and speaks while she attempts to type more.
You don't have to wait up for me. I might be a while.
I get it. Just so you know, it's going to get cold soon.
It's already cold. I'm fine. Did I leave my jacket in the car from last night?
You sure did. I'll go grab it for you.
Lily stands and not so gracefully traipses down the bleachers, making tons of noise. It creates this very painful comedy, very ill place. Janie gives Lily a half-hearted smirk as she goes. Once Lily is out of sight, Janie's eye starts to get teary. She inhales sharply.
Michael was a beautiful soul gone too soon. My cousin was one of a kind, and our family is at a loss.
Janie wipes her face and deletes some of what she has written.
He always would make me smile. I wish I had more time to watch him grow.
Janie takes another deep breath and is suddenly confronted with a falling Lilith, tripping up the step below. Lily regains her balance, sits, and sets the jacket between them.
Sorry, my middle name is definitely not Grace. What have you got so far?
Not much. Putting this into words is difficult.
Do you feel like being here helps?
It makes me feel a lot of things.
Like what?
Like angry at Aunt Susan. God, why would anyone make their kid be a cheerleader? Oh yeah, to relive her glory days.
Susan is going through a lot right now. Losing a child has got to be painful.
Well, maybe she could have prevented it.
No one can prevent suicide single-handed. It's so much deeper than that, and you know it. You don't know that that's what drove him to crisis mode. None of us know for sure what did.
It's kind of hard to believe it wasn't somehow, on some level, related to how she has treated him since he came out as Michael.
I mean, that was, what, like a year ago?
Susan only budged like a tiny bit on the whole trans thing, like just enough to not kick Michael out. And what, do you think someone heals from that in less than a year?
No, I'm just saying there could have been other factors.
Maybe. We'll never know for sure. It's not like he left a note or anything.
I know you're angry at her, but at this point, what good does blaming your aunt really do?
Holds her accountable?
I'm sure she'll get there with any push coming from you. She's probably up all night thinking about it, thinking about what she could have done differently.
We all are thinking that. She's not special. Wish she had got all introspective and changed when it actually mattered.
Well, maybe this experience could teach her to change her mindset towards trans people. Maybe it can help her to act differently in a situation like this.
What situation? She's not going to have another kid. When is she going to apply this incredible new wisdom in a way that she has as much impact as it would have with her own kid? And why did it cost so fucking much for her to finally get it?
Lily is at a loss for words. She rubs Janie's back and nods. Janie recoils a bit.
I love you, but I'm not in a touchy mood.
Lily quickly removes her hand.
Noted. Sorry, I should have asked.
I don't know what else to write.
Maybe share a happy memory?
We didn't spend that much time together, especially after I moved. And even when my parents and I moved back, I feel like we were both too busy and had other stuff going on. I came back almost halfway through senior year, and I just wanted out. Wanted to focus on the future in college. I should have been paying more attention to how he was doing. I don't know, stuff from way back. You know, I could talk about music, I guess. We used to bond over that, like old music and whatnot. Elton John and Tom Petty, you know, the classics. Yeah, that's good. I just don't want to talk about anything girly we might have done together.
Alyssa. Hold, we might be experiencing some technical difficulties.
Melissa, I think we lost you. If you disconnect and reconnect, I don't know if you can hear us.
Sorry, friends. Hold for 1 second. Alyssa?
Okay, I'm back, sorry.
It's okay. We'll go to your line.
Okay, my internet went out. What
It's
line?
Okay. Does it matter?
Okay, sorry. Does it matter how feminine or masculine a memory was?
I think so. If Michael was always Michael, then I don't think he was truly happy in some of those past memories. They almost seem phony now.
Why? Because you or others might label them as feminine?
I mean, brushing each other's hair is kind of girly. Our moms were both so busy with work all the time, they didn't always do the quote, mom stuff that often. So when we hung out, we'd listen to some rad music and brush each other's hair. 100 strokes every time.
I think that's really sweet.
Sweet and kind of girly.
Men can't have their hair brushed?
Yeah, I guess they can. Can't conform to gender norms. Michael cut so much off that when he came out, kind of makes it seem like his hair wasn't something he liked.
At the time, it made you both happy to share that. Isn't that what matters?
Did it though? What if the whole time he thought, this is super girly and I hate this? You can't know what he was thinking all of those years.
And neither can you. Not unless he told you he thought that. Also, not to call you out or anything, but you're not necessarily a girly girl yourself. And you seem to like it.
Yeah, I guess I'm an unconventional person.
And I love that about you. Not that it needs to be gendered, but I am actually a bit surprised that avid hairbrushing is in your repertoire. See how much I'm learning about you?
There's many things you don't know about me.
Janie winks. Lily goes to take Janie's hand, but remembers what Jenny said earlier, stops before crossing that line. Janie sees and takes Lily's hand.
I can be touched now. Thanks for waiting. I'm a little less on edge now. I'm lucky you're so patient with me.
With all that you put up with from me, I think you're the patient one. The least I can do is try to return the favor, especially right now.
Janie looks warily at her screen.
I guess I can write about the hairbrushing and the music stuff. I'll need a good segue, though.
Yeah, totally. Segues are important.
I have Facebook writer's block. How pathetic. So 2020.
Much wow.
Yeah. Can I just make this post as a series of memes he shared?
Big yikes.
I'm kidding.
I know.
Janie types what seems to be like a sentence or two. After a moment, she leans back and rereads what she's typed.
Okay. How does this sound? Michael was a one-of-a-kind soul gone too soon. My cousin always knew how to make me smile. I wish I had more time to watch him and grow. I have such fond memories of us as children playing, brushing each other's hair, and listening to rock music in my mom's backyard. He had the best taste in music. I'll think of him anytime I jam out to Crocodile Rock or Free Falling, and I'll carry him in my heart with every future adventure I live out.
That's cute.
Is it supposed to be cute?
Okay, redo. Not sure cute was the right word, but it's definitely heartfelt.
All right, good. I think. Shit. What else do I need to say? There are so many things I want to say that shouldn't go on Facebook. It's rough trying to filter out those things with what should be remembered by the Facebook herds.
Don't write it for them. Write it for Michael. Well, what else are you feeling, besides anger at Susan?
Helplessness.
Well, you can't change anyone else's life, but you can change your own. What would Michael want your takeaway to be then, besides what you've said already? Try thinking about what Michael would...
You know what Michael would want, and that's the fucking problem.
Janie, it's okay, I
knew him recently. I could have reached out in the past 2 years, but I didn't. We went to the same high school, for fuck's sake. We could have connected, and for some reason, I thought my own goals were more important than that. Like, I knew how Aunt Susan was. I knew I was bi, could relate on the whole identity thing. I knew all of this, yet I still chose not to take the time for my cousin. And now...
You can't change the past, but...
Just go home, Lily. Sorry. Or actually, just wait for me at my mom's house and tell her I'm on my way. I'll walk home tonight. I love you, but I kind of want to be alone.
Okay. You sure?
Janie nods.
Text me, okay?
Yeah, sure.
I'm putting an order for takeout. You want anything?
No, thanks.
I'm probably doing Crapplebee's tonight. I'll get you what you usually get.
Lily leans in towards Janie. She waits.
Yeah, you can touch me.
Lily lightly kisses Janie on the cheek.
I love you.
Love you too. See you soon.
Lily very carefully maneuvers her way down to the field and peels off towards the parking lot.
I wonder if someone will kick me out of here. Probably think I'm some freak hanging out around my old high school. Yeesh.
Yeah, you're kind of a freak, TBH. You're like talking to yourself.
What?
Didn't you think you'd be all alone, did you?
Yeah, I did. Wait, Michael, is that you?
Well, it's my voice, is it not?
So does this mean religion is legit? Or is that my brain fucking with me?
What do you think?
I don't know what to think.
Don't mind me. I'm just spectating is all. Just carry on, act like I'm not even here. I'll hush up.
Yeah, okay. Fine. Where was I? Oh yeah, doing a shitty job at writing this post. Okay, how about Michael will live on inside each of us. I will strive to live my life bravely and honestly the way he did.
Yeah, sure you will.
Okay, Michael, my subconscious thoughts, whatever you are.
You know, you're such a coward.
Wow, thanks.
No problem.
Please, I gotta finish this stupid post.
Oh, so now the post is stupid. Cool.
That's not what I meant.
Yeah, you're kind of a bitch.
Michael wouldn't have called me a bitch.
But you think it, don't you?
Kinda.
Well, that settles it then.
Please, just let me finish this.
Why? So people actually think you're a good person? What a crock of shit!
Excuse me?
Stop pretending you're better than you are. You were selfish before. Why stop now?
I know, but...
Stop making excuses. If you had your shit together, you would have actually made a difference.
I know.
You must feel pretty fucking guilty, huh?
Yeah, I do.
Well, good, you should.
Yeah. Well, if you're Michael, then how about you enlighten me on what I can do to stop feeling this way?
What do you think?
I don't know. Go forward trying to make a difference?
Punish yourself.
Michael wouldn't want me to.
How the hell do you know? Not like you asked. Not like you were that close. Isn't that why you feel this way? You had all the tools to be a supportive family member, but getting into college was more important than that, huh? More important than someone's life?
Screw me for being goal-driven, I guess.
Our history is nothing more than the losers we settle for. Losers that think their own lives are more important than other living beings. Selfishness. That's why change hasn't happened the way so many people want it to. People are losers that have stopped giving a shit about others, and you're one of them.
You're right.
Of course I am.
How do I punish myself?
By feeling pain.
Isn't that kind of what I'm feeling right now?
No. Real pain.
I have to hurt myself? Or find a way to feel physical pain?
You said it, not me.
Maybe I have to feel the pain Michael felt when he was dying. It was more than emotional. It was trauma inside and out. I think I can relate to him, but I'm so privileged and such a coward. There's no way I possibly could. I don't know that trauma, and that's not fair. I need to learn for Michael's sake.
Janie carelessly leaps down every other bleacher step, halfway down the bleachers, and lets herself fall the rest of the way down. Janie reaches the bottom with a thud. She groans and then smiles wildly.
See there? That's what pain is, right? Have I atoned yet? Have I?
The voice has gone. Janie is all alone.
Answer me!
Janie sobs on the ground. She quiets down as she hears footsteps approaching from a distance. Lily approaches, carrying a cardboard box, but drops it as she sees Janie lying there and runs to her.
Janie, oh my God, are you all right? Janie, oh my God, are you all right? Honey, are you hurt?
Spoke to me. Michael spoke to me. He told me that I was selfish, guilty, and that I wouldn't ever really relate to him until I felt the same pain he felt.
That wasn't Michael.
It was his voice, I swear. I'm not crazy.
No one is saying you're crazy.
Lily sits down on the damp turf ground with Janie.
Those are your feelings, but I can tell you for sure they weren't Michael's. When you first went away, Michael actually told me about you. We had homeroom together that year, and he told me how much he missed you and looked up to you. This was before you came back and before you and I even met. He knew you understood him. You may not have had the same exact experience and weren't always physically around, but he knew you loved him. And I bet he did after his transition too. You aren't crazy for feeling guilty or angry, though. You're human, but you might need some help to get through this.
Being human sucks.
Seriously.
Lily takes Janie's hand as she lays on the ground beside her. Janie rolls over to face Lily. Lily puts her arms around her as they lay there on the ground.
You aren't crazy, but you also don't have to handle this all alone. Grief is no joke, and there are people out there who can help, professionals who can give you the support you need right now. Maybe you can call your old therapist.
Nah. She went out of practice.
Lily waits.
Okay. I'll reach out to someone in the morning. Maybe there's also someone in Brockport for when I go back. This really sucks.
Things don't feel okay right now, but I promise to do everything I can to make it better.
I love you. Thanks for helping me. I'm sorry I made you miss the takeout.
I love you too. And screw the takeout.
They both share the slightest smile.
Actually, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I totally forgot to order, but I did do something else. I grabbed some stuff and...
Lily sits up and helps Janie to a sitting position. Lily crawls towards the box she had dropped and drags it over.
Ta-da! I call it the Janie Care Package.
Lily pulls out a box of tissues, a bag of pretzels, and a box full of honey mustard, a jar of Nutella, a fuzzy hoodie, and Janie's Benjamin Franklin pillow.
I grabbed him from home. Figured it was time he saw the world again, and...
Janie grabs Lily and holds her tight with all her might. After a couple of seconds, Janie winces, remembering that she just fell down what felt like a flight of stairs, and pulls back.
I'm sorry. Oh, still achy from falling. I'm glad you came back.
Did you really think I was gonna leave you all alone?
Lily helps situate Janie into the hoodie as if it were a blanket. She puts the food back into the box and scoots it to Janie's left, tossing her the pillow.
I really should finish this post.
You don't have to.
Yeah, I do. I gotta sort through this shit. That's what I should be doing for Michael. Preserving him, his smile, his bravery, and our memories.
All right. I just want you to be okay.
I'm not totally okay, but I'm getting there.
Oh, there's something else in the box, by the way.
Janie reaches in and pulls out a hairbrush. Lily takes it and adjusts to sit behind Janie and begins to brush Janie's hair.
Thanks. You just love that you learned about my guilty pleasure, don't you?
Oh yeah, it's now my secret comforting weapon. 100 brushes coming right up.
Janie relaxes as Lily continues to gently stroke her hair with the hairbrush. Janie lets out a humorous sigh, reaches for her phone, swipes it up, and takes a look at the text. A new thought forms in Janie's eyes, and she begins to steadily type it out. Blackout. End of scene. Thank you both so much, and thank you for reading that. I know that is not always the easiest topic to listen to, but I think it's important to hear all sorts of stories. Thank you. So I'm actually going to let Ellen take over reading stage directions.
Yes, yes. I just want to say as well, thank you so much to all three of you, and also Aaliyah for writing that. That was just so good, and I loved listening to every second of it. Okay, so let's move on to Coming to Light by Jeff Dunn. Daniel, played by Talent Davis. Keith, played by Tanner Joubert. Linda, played by Layla Janti. Angela, played by Derry Howell. And while everyone is muting and unmuting, just want to give a special thank you to our patrons. I don't want to miss them just because I'm super excited about reading. Let me read those people off to you. 1 second. Thank you to Katie Shrevka, Ryan Schleia, Sean Lewis / Sean Cheeky, Wayne Conover, Leslie Cairns, Sarah Henderson, Zoe Kiriazis, Leslie Lusterman, Kelly Booth, and Scott Seifritz. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me get to my script. Okay. Like everybody's all set. All right. Keith is in a shed, nervously peeking out the door or window. He is holding a partially eaten hot dog, and a juice box is nearby. Also in the shed is a hairbrush that has been sawed in two, and the saw that was used. After a moment, Daniel enters with a container of honey mustard.
Here you go.
You sure that?
Yeah. It's fine. Just eat.
Keith starts putting mustard on his hot dog.
Annie, thanks. I don't know what I would have done if...
Don't mention it.
I don't want you to get in trouble. No, I mean, it's not your problem, and...
Daniel? Daniel?
Oh, shit.
Oh, no. What are we gonna...
Hide! Hide!
You shouldn't.
Yes, I should. Now hide!
Where?
Over there. Under the tarp.
Keith starts to put down the food.
No, take it. I don't eat mustard, and...
Keith just gets under a tarp when the door to the shed opens and Linda enters.
Why didn't you answer?
Did. Didn't you hear me?
Linda's narrows her eyes at him, and then...
What are you doing out here?
Nothing. Just thought it would be a cool place to hang out. You know, for some quiet. You know, Libby gets so annoying. I just wanted some place I could get some privacy, you know?
Daniel.
What? I just wanted to change for a bit. I'm 15 now, and...
Uh-huh. You're practically an adult, so you wanted some solitude to enjoy a juice box?
Daniel looks at it, and we can see in his face that he knows he's sunk. Still...
That's been there for a while.
She walks over, picks it up, feels that it's half full.
Where did it come from?
How should I know?
We don't buy that brand, Daniel. Now, do you want to tell me what's going on and why you've suddenly decided to start lying to me? Or do you want to get grounded?
You can't ground me.
Now listen, baby, I am not.
I'm not your baby. I'm 15.
Enough. Start talking.
I am talking. Can't you hear me? This is me talking.
Who else is in here?
Nobody. It's just...
I saw you take the mustard in here, and now I'm out of patience. You can either tell me what's going on, or...
Keith emerges from his hiding place.
Annie, I don't want...
Keith, just... Please, I don't want you involved in this. Keith just needed some place to stay for a little while, so I told him he could hang out here.
Oh my God.
His parents kicked him out, keeping quiet about the whole thing because they don't want to upset the neighborhood. He needed a place to stay until his grandparents could.
He fades off as Linda stares at the boys. The silence grows tense.
Your parents kicked you out?
Keith looks at Daniel, who nods ever so slightly for him to say yes.
Huh?
Keith, are you sure there isn't anything else going on?
I told you.
He stops short and at a glare from Linda. After a long pause, she makes a decision. Linda takes out her car keys and hands them to Daniel.
Daniel, would you please go out to the car and get the stack of flyers in the front seat?
He looks like he's about to object, but can see that arguing with his mother further is not a good idea. He takes the keys and exits. Linda looks around in the meantime and spies the hairbrush.
Is that your hairbrush?
Yes, Miss Kennedy.
You cut it in half?
Hmm.
Why?
We
Stunned.
wanted to see what was inside. You know, like if it was hollow.
They don't work as well when they're cut in half.
Right.
Is there anything you want to tell me?
Keith just looks at her, clearly scared out of his mind.
Like maybe why your parents kicked you out?
I don't know. I think maybe because I broke something.
I see.
Something real expensive.
Daniel enters. He has a box of missing persons pamphlets with him, which he puts down after he hands the card keys back. Linda looks at him expectantly.
Mom, you can't send Keith back.
Daniel.
You just can't.
Daniel. He has to go home. His parents are worried sick about him.
No, he has to stay here.
Why?
Because he just has to.
Hun, if you were missing, I'd be scared out of my mind. You can't keep someone's child hidden away. Rick and Angela have been...
Don't care. We can't send him back. He has to stay here.
Why? Tell me why.
I can't. Promised.
There's another long pause as they consider each other.
I'm sorry. I have to call them and let them know he's okay. I have to.
Please, Miss Kennedy. Please just let me stay here just until tonight. Me and Danny, we are playing a game and we just want to finish. I'll go home after that and I'll pay you back for the hot dog. I promise.
Keith, are you scared to go home?
Keith just stares at Linda.
It's okay. You don't have to answer. I'm sorry.
Linda is clearly torn, but finally makes a decision. She gets out her cell phone and dials.
Hi, Angie. It's Linda. Yeah, I found him. He's okay. In our shed. He and Daniel were playing a game, and I think it just got a little... Of course.
Linda hangs up. Daniel is glaring daggers at her.
I know this doesn't make sense to you, Daniel, but I wish you'd be honest with me. I know it doesn't seem like it, but it really is the best thing to do.
Want me to be honest? Fine. You think you're so smart, but you're not. You're stupid. You think you know what's best for everyone, but you don't. You don't know shit.
Daniel!
Like that. You're all upset because I swore. Like that's such a big deal. You can just send Keith back home like...
Suddenly goes silent.
Keith, your mom is coming over. She'll be here in a minute or two.
I know.
I want you to know that... Look, Keith, if something should happen, if you know, accidentally get hurt or anything.
Linda just is at a complete loss for words. She falls silent. Keith stares at her and she realizes there's simply no winning in this situation.
Just remember that you can always come back and play with Danny, okay?
Keith continues to stare at her, and a moment later, Angela rushes in.
There you are! Don't you realize that Daddy and I have been worried to death about you? How dare you worry us like that?
She looks hard at Keith.
Well, what do you have to say for yourself?
Sorry, Mom.
What?
Linda watches, trying to understand how Angela would not immediately embrace her son.
I'm sorry.
Well, we'll discuss this tonight. You get home and go straight to your room.
Keith rushes out of the shed and Angela turns to Daniel and Linda. She looks at Daniel with an unreadable expression, then she turns to Linda and her expression softens to one of grief mixed with relief.
Thank you. Thank you so much for calling. I can't begin to tell you what a relief this is to us.
This must have been very traumatic for everyone.
You can't imagine. Rick and I have been going out of our minds. I mean, can you imagine if Danny ran away? Or Libby? You invest everything in your children and, well, thank heavens he's safe.
Yeah. Safe.
Angela turns to leave, but stops when Linda speaks.
Angie?
Angela turns around. Linda points to the brush.
I think that's your hairbrush.
Angela looks at the brush and then back at Linda. Linda never stops watching her.
Isn't it?
The two women stare at each other. Linda's expression is hard, and a look of worry and guilt comes over Angela's face.
Angela?
As a matter of fact, I think you're right.
So funny that Keith would cut it in half like that.
Well, you know how boys are.
She starts toward the brush while saying,
Always breaking things just to see how.
Linda walks between Angela and the brush.
I'll throw it away for you.
I don't want to put you out. You've already done so much.
Nonsense. I'm glad to help. Well, you must be exhausted from worry after these last few days. Why don't you just go home and get some rest?
Angela pauses, trying to find a way to take the brush, but the pressure of Linda's expressionless and unrelenting stare finally grows too uncomfortable.
Well, thank you again.
Don't mention it.
Angela exits and Linda turns to look at Daniel. Her expression has softened into one of pride, but he doesn't notice.
I guess. Grounded for, like, forever.
Linda shakes her head no, a smile of pride growing even bigger.
15 already. Seems like just yesterday you were my little boy.
She picks up the broken hairbrush and puts an arm around Daniel and starts to lead him out.
Come on. We have a difficult phone call to make, and there are some things we should talk about first. You're not an adult yet, and you don't know everything. It's okay to get help with the big problems.
She stops and looks at him directly.
But Daniel?
Yeah?
I want you to know I'm really proud of you.
They exit. Lights out. Oh, thank you guys for reading, and thanks to Jeff for writing that. It's an interesting take on some sort of, abusive situation. Kind of a lot of saying things without saying them, if I put that right. I should mention at the moment we have, out of the 4 of the plays that we have tonight, all 3 of them are new writers. So Diane, Aaliyah, and Jeff, thank you so much for writing again. We really appreciate and tell all your friends to start writing for Quarantine Quarters because it's fun. Okay, let's go with the last play of the night, Quarantine Night Lights by Leslie Cairns. Back after a couple weeks of a break. Let's just do a little bit of a shout out to our patrons once more. Thank you so much for donating your $5 or more every month, and we really, really appreciate it. It's helping us stay alive during this time. Okay, so we have Bailey, played by Alyssa Grace Adams, Skylar, played by Erica Philpott, Alyssa, played by Leila Gentil, Jasper, played by Justine Pasquale, and man number one, the only man in this play, Talent Davis, and I'll be reading stage directions. Okay, get that play because I have the other one up. One moment. We find ourselves on a football field with the lights off. One at a time, the light will come on for each of the 4 people who are sitting on the field. The field is so large they do not know they aren't alone, at least not yet.
Not wearing this thing for another second.
She throws her mask on the ground.
At least here, I'm 6 feet apart from anyone. At least here, I don't have to make any sound. I believe it's been a year. And then he was on TV, and nothing has changed.
Lights fade on Alyssa. Lights come up on Skylar.
I can't believe how much worse it's gotten since we can't go to school. I know we can't go to school. I remember Darcy's fever and how her mother got it from her. How she was in the hospital for 3 weeks. I remember. But still, I miss how I felt being a cheerleader. Cliche, I know. But cheering for the boys that are jerks, smiling even though it hurts, and that was high school. I was used to it. What do I do now?
Lights fade on Skylar. Jasper puts flowers on the corner of the field.
Dude, you were my best friend. You would laugh at how awful Mr. Bennett's apartment looks from his Zoom screen. You were so right about him. He has Elvis on his wall. A green throw rug. Green! And he officially doesn't care about the dress code. Not that he ever did. A year. I thought losing you was the worst that could happen. It turns out, COVID and living without you is worse. It turns out, grief is a virus too.
He pulls out his car key.
Whenever I look at any keys, even this one, of the car I used to love to drive, I think of you. I think of where it all went wrong.
Lights fade on Jasper.
Yep.
Bailey.
My name is spelled with 2 E's. I'm from a time when writing letters with little dots over the I's was fun, and where we ate lollipops in class and flirted with the boys just for the twinkling thrill of it. I'm not that girl anymore, and I have to say, I never want to go back. I died that day, and I love it more and more each day that I did.
All the lights come up on all of them, then fade to black. Scene 2. We open where all 4 are still on stage, but the football stadium lights slowly come up and they all realize they are in the same spot. They are all surprised to see one another because they thought they were alone.
Step back! We all should. Are we 6 feet apart?
Baby, we are all 6 feet apart. Or more.
I am not your baby, Jay.
At least you call me Jay. What are you all doing here?
None of your business.
Travis, seeing the stars.
What, you gonna ask me why I'm here?
Bailey snorts and turns the other way. She pulls out a hairbrush from her bag and begins to brush her already perfect hair.
I'll play. Why are you here?
You know why.
If you were going to answer that way, why have me ask you anything at all?
Alyssa, right?
You know my name.
Yeah, sorry. I know your name. We sat together a year ago.
Don't you think I remember? All the popping sounds, waiting for sirens. I swear I still can't look at the colors blue and red anymore.
Why?
Because that day, I kept closing my eyes as the gunman was walking through the halls. And I just kept picturing sirens coming. I prayed for them to come. I kept picturing blue and red blue and red lights in my head.
Alyssa.
I didn't know him, but I'm here. Does that make any sense?
Not really, but hey, I guess it's just the same. So, I guess I'll go and leave you ladies alone.
Nah, I'm leaving first.
Yeah, it's kind of late.
Stop!
They'll freeze since they all took 3 steps away.
The world sucks. So why not just delay the spread of misery for a little while? Why don't we just stay?
And do what? Have the picnic about how school is closed due to COVID and it was shot up a year ago on this day?
Bailey.
It's the truth.
We could do that. Or, I don't know, we could just fill each other up with stories of what we've been doing. Never mind. It was stupid.
I'm in.
Alrighty, me too. Forever partners, right, Alyssa?
Forever partners.
Fine. Not like I can spend another night scrolling Insta like people actually think their lives are awesome right now with all the racism, orange manisms, and climate change fires. The virus spreads and people still want to go viral. It's gross.
I'm putting an order in for takeout. Anyone want anything?
How can you? Today, on all days, think about takeout.
Should we do poutine or Chinese?
Chinese.
Agreed.
Don't encourage him. How can you all eat?
We all have to live, even if the world stopped a year ago today.
I was being harsh, I guess. I'm always too harsh to people. I swear I don't even mean it anymore. It's just what I do. Does that make sense?
I think it does.
I'm anxious now. I never was.
Wait, you? Alyssa Adams? Bravest social justice girl in the school? Who kicked Brett's balls? Scared.
We all have our ways of coping, Bailey. Yours is being mean sometimes.
Hey, I didn't say mean. You better order Chinese over poutine or you are seriously misguided.
Alright, I'll put in an order for 2 crab rangoons. We need those scallion pancakes. Gotta have the cake. Lo mein.
A vegetarian option?
Lo mein is. Want something else?
No.
And fried pork dumplings. Mmm. Sorry, Alyssa.
Hello? Haguyin's Asian Cuisine? Can we get 2 orders of crab rangoon, lo mein, 2 orders of scallion pancakes?
Enough for a whole football team.
Or to last a whole season of binge watching Friday Night Lights.
Touche.
And pork dumplings. 1 should be fine. And 4 bubble tea strawberry. Okay, thanks. Delivery? Well, you need to deliver to the Panthers football field. Right. We're not in the building. We're at the field. The field! Yes, you can write that down as the official address. You will see us, 3 of us, and a girl that looks pissed off. Okay, scratch that. But yeah, you'll be able to see us. Thanks. Bye. Done.
Nice one, Jay.
I only speak the truth.
Why don't we sit down? Sit 6 feet apart on the center line?
They all walk to the middle of the stage and sit down. Jay starts drumming on his lap, out of nerves.
So, what do we talk about?
The meaning of life?
How annoying Jasper is?
God, you 2 should just date again already.
No way.
For once, I agree.
Maybe we could tell each other, how we're doing?
Pretty crummy.
Same.
Bailey sits and begins to pick a blade of grass.
Bailey?
What did you ask?
We were all saying how crummy our lives are. How are we doing staying at home all the time and dealing with it being the 1 year anniversary?
Oh, right. You probably don't want to hear this, but I'm doing really well. It's hard to explain.
We've got nothing but time. But time.
You're ridiculous. Okay, fine. I've been training for the Olympics.
You're not joking.
I'm not joking. Diving. I've been going every day. Only 2 of us are allowed in the pool, so I know I'm lucky to get out.
Bailey, how have you not snatched up the opportunity to tweet about that every day? Snap a pic of the pool.
You know that feeling when you would go fishing with your dad or whomever in your family you fish with, and you walk out on the lake and it's just, you're the first ones there, minus the fish and the sky and the trees. The water is not rippling at all. Everything feels magical and pink. The pink tinges, the blue reflection of the water. That's how I feel when I dive and when I train. It's a secret, just for me.
Must be nice to just be able to be totally fine after our school got shot up last year. 15 people died, but sure, just keep moving on. I mean, I don't get it. I cried for weeks. Then I slept for months. I could barely get out of bed. And you've been, what, chasing a gold medal? Having the best time of your life?
Alyssa, we didn't die that day. Maybe that's what Bee's doing. She's just living for the 15.
Living for the 15? Why don't you say thoughts and prayers or something even more inane? Still remember what that popping sound felt like in my ears. I don't go to fireworks or eat popcorn. I made my kid brother get rid of all his army toys, and I try to forget that all our cousins growing up loved to play with Nerf guns. It was my favorite, getting someone with that little pellet. Can't believe I thought those things were only games.
A year ago wasn't your fault. And B, I'm proud of you. I mean, we all cope in our own way.
That was harsh, Bailey. I'm sorry. I collapsed.
But that's the thing. I did too. Diving was just a way to channel all my anger into a perfect splash in the pool. I could change into my suit and swim until my arms became perfect twigs, until my body was perfectly a 10, like the news always says. I could hear the complaints of my coach and fill my ears with his words and the water filling my nose and just feel the pain of the everyday instead of the past. Does that make sense?
It does. Can I put my mask on and come over and give you a hug?
Well, 2020 is so freaking weird that you have to ask those things.
Of course.
I've never had a lower self-esteem in my life.
You? Head cheerleader? Who posts every day on Instagram about how blessed you are?
That's all for show. And yeah.
You're pretty. You're smart, even in calculus. You can have anything you want in this world because of that. Plus, you survived last year. Literally. You can do anything.
But when schools closed and it became summer, even though we couldn't go outside or shop for swimsuits or drink virgin margaritas or party at the beach, I realized I'm nothing when the world shuts down. I was all show. I was parties and cheerleading and cute clothes. Now I don't know what to do with my life.
But that's the point. You have a life. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you'll turn into a better person because of this change of pace. I know that's mean, But now you won't be in your 40s and still going after the things Daisy Buchanan wanted to chase. You can be a genuine person. Like that person who stood in front of the special ed room and stared down all the people who were making fun of Lizzie Bennett for having autism and having to do puzzles in the corner of the main entrance every day.
You remember that?
I do. I did. You're not just cellophane and tanning beds, Skylar. You can be the light for people and use your brains and beauty for power. You know, I would kill to be pretty like that. So the people don't just tear me down when I speak for my frizzy hair or my acne or my overbite. You can get people to listen to you just by standing up because you're all put together in a package they want. Does that make sense? You can be 10 times the social justice advocate I can ever be just because you're who the people want to look at.
That's twisted, Alyssa.
But I'm right.
Maybe.
Jasper, how about you?
You really want to know about me?
I asked, didn't I?
I miss him all the time. I miss Luke every day. You know I haven't cried yet, and when I think about Luke, I get sad, but then I punch myself. Literally.
He lifts his shirt and you can see the deep bruises.
Jasper.
Violence begins violence. Jay. You need to... We had enough violence sitting together in the library while the school shooter went room to room. Saved me. You know that, right? So you never deserve to do this to yourself. Ever. You were the genius who thought to get our teacher's office and lock the doors with her key after he shot her.
Mrs. Jane, we used her.
No. We used her key. She would have wanted that. Everyone else in the room was gone.
But when I think about it, really think about it, Luke and I were so mean to everyone. Each other. Bullying kids and pushing them into lockers. Remember Arnold? He was a genius and he shouldn't have been shot. If it was because of a bad behavior who got hit, it should have been me. That's why I punch.
Our history is the losers we settle for.
Isn't that from a book?
I don't get it, B.
You hung around losers. Not Luke, I'm not saying that. But we all were kids and we all felt like it was easier to be a loser than to win, really win. Winning, we know now, means being kind, not superficial shit like Instagram and rising status and pushing kids into lockers. But we were so afraid of being labeled loser that we became the ones who pushed one another away. Because we were afraid.
And we were afraid.
Luke stood up and blocked the way. He put the desk in front of the door and told everyone to run to the next room despite protocol. And then that guy got him, and Luke was gone, and...
He starts crying.
Fuck it. I'm coming over to you, to your 6 feet. Put on your mask.
She goes over and puts on a hug. The others join.
We've all infected each other, I guess. Seriously, we probably have.
Sometimes feeling some pain is worth it to put yourself back together. Not glorifying ignoring COVID. Please know that. You needed a hug, Jasper.
We all did.
The man runs up, smiling.
Chinese food. I'll leave it over here, 6 feet away. You know, you four shouldn't be sitting that close. These are the times when 6 feet is what's safe. Getting too close these days
is suicide, we know. You're right, man.
They all go back to their separate corners as the man leaves. Jasper picks up the food and looks inside and starts laughing.
What's so funny?
He pulls out honey mustard packets.
I asked for the store's special sauce because that's what Luke always used to do. I put it in at the pickup notes, and they gave us honey mustard, a whole box.
Why?
Who knows? The world doesn't make any sense.
Honey mustard doesn't make any sense. Honey mixed with, like, the worst condiment ever.
Jasper goes around and passes out equal amounts of honey mustard packets to each person.
These honey mustard packets are the perfect metaphor for 2020. Just the weirdest possible combinations and super weird situations put together.
Alyssa squirts some onto her rice.
It's actually pretty good.
You didn't!
I did. It's like weird, but also sweet.
Like us being here together. Jasper, good idea making us order takeout to the football field. It's way more fun than sitting at home.
You're welcome. Bailey, can we watch you dive sometime?
Yes, Jasper's right. Can we?
Agreed. I know that's weird because we don't know each other much right now, but can we? Us weirdos should start sitting together. We've been through a mass execution and a mass pandemic, so...
That's dark.
Can we?
Before you answer, it's just we want to... Well, I know that I want to be able to see someone make beauty for a change, to rise above all the hot air and the sick particles of virus and just plummet into the blue water, slicing through all the chaos until there's nothing there but a perfect splash. Sharing that with us? Well, it could change everything.
I'll think about it, baby. I'd love for you to all come. We're friends now, no matter what.
Chinese food brings people together.
Alyssa, nudging Jasper and smiling, begins to chant in a whisper.
USA, 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 USA.
Wait. Are we seriously chanting for the worst country in the world right now?
USA! USA!
USA!
USA!
USA!
They all chant until they start laughing and can't say it anymore. Then Alyssa takes a honey mustard packet and throws it at Jay. Then they all start throwing honey mustard packets at each other, laughing until they fall on the grass.
Luke, I hope you see us being idiots. Still.
Now that was fun.
Look at those stars. So beautiful.
The moon, too. It's like gold.
Yes, but is it honey mustard gold?
You're cuter when you're not saying anything.
Bailey, win for us. Win for this school and all of this loss. Win for the class of 2023 who has lost so much due to staying at home and going to school through screens, for losing sight of all that's pretty and real in this world.
Agreed. Go for the gold.
I'll go for the gold. Honey mustard gold.
Lights fade. End of play. Wow. Thank you guys so much for reading. That was a nice thing to end up on. We had a kind of a dark week. Lots of hard things to read about, but I'm really happy that we read all these plays because they're so good. I loved them a lot. Thank you so much for joining us. If you want to write or read for Quarantine Quarters or anything else that we're doing that you want to be involved with, send us an email or a message or anything. We will get back to you, and we love working with new people. That's kind of our jam. So please join us next time. And if there's nothing else, Layla, I think we can head out. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we're good. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight and getting to enjoy these amazing plays.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.